Hello, hello, happy Monday again. It is Monday, isn't it? It's difficult trying to keep up with the days, they're all the same. It's like being retired. I'm not retired. Happy Monday. Yeah, I've got a nice picture of Venice here. I'm pinching off the internet, so I'm not go selling it or doing anything unless you want to just put it in your own room or give it somebody for a Christmas present. But I thought, because we're doing buildings, we've not done any buildings in Pastel, and it would be quite nice to have a go and try to create some texture. So this time I'm doing it quite just a little bit of a different way. Instead of putting pastel colour on first on my gesso paper, this is why I'm on gesso paper. So it's you've got a lovely tooth, you can hear, but you don't want to put the acrylic on too thick, because when it dries, acrylic, and it's shiny, so you won't be able to put the pastel over the top. Okay, so you need to keep the texture. So we put it on quite thin. So it's easy to do. You just mix a lot of water with it, and then but we want it to be a lot mid-tone value, something a little bit darker than the buildings in the shadows. Yeah, that's what we're aiming for. We can play about with colours. We can have cool colours or warm colours, or we can do the opposite way on this one and have warm colours going into cool colours. Okay, because it's quite cool at the bottom, and then you've got nice warm areas at the tops and shadows and whatever. But you can do a combination of it. It's entirely up to you. But we need to put it on now and dry it off, part of the session, because I wanted you to see how we put it on. And then if you're not doing gesso paper, if you've not got any gesso, and you're using normal paper, then you can just put normal pastel on. Or if you're using watercolour paper, you can put pastel on, or you can put gesso on, or acrylic. You can put acrylic on your watercolour paper actually, and then paint over the top. Anyway, that's what we're going to do today. Quite a nice, nice image. I love the seagull, so the seagull's part of the picture. Not too keen on some of these here, so I might miss a few out. Doesn't really matter with the olive. I might make them a bit lower, because this is quite big. Like I said before, if you have an image that you're not quite happy with, that you pinch or whatever, you can actually just make it different, just add another window or something there, you see. So that post actually disappears. No, it's not exactly like the picture now, see. But we've got another post behind it, we've got other things here. So I'll just get rid of that with a bit of white pastel. Easy, isn't it? So that post, a lot smaller. If you wanted it to have stripes on, this one, there's a red and white one there. Just behind, I might actually bring that out, put the stripes all the way down, and then cover the one that's in front of it, so we get a red post all the way down, red and white, you can see. So I can take that down to there. This one, I might take that down actually and just have it chopped off about here where the water is. I know there's a lot of these posts, and they're actually very handy for tying up your gondolas. Yeah, gondola. When we went to a gondola in Venice, this guy said before we went on, whatever you do, don't start whistling, just one cornetto. I was very tempted when we were done, but I took his advice. It was lovely actually. I'd love to go back someday. Right, so yeah, we got this, I could chop that off, I'm going to chop it off a bit. Don't have it the same height as other things. We could just have it a little bit smaller. Anyway, yeah, so we're looking at it now. There's quite a bit going on, it's quite busy, so we do need to get some paint on, because I'm talking too much with this one. I'm going to use my warmer colours first. So this is burnt sienna, yeah? Nice burnt sienna. If you look at the picture, you've got it in the roofs, you've got it in some of these buildings, and as we're coming down, I'm going to add alizarin to my burnt sienna. You can see how thin it is. I'm not putting it on too thick. It's got nice and cool here. If you put it on too thick, just blend it out, get it away like that, and then we're going clean your brush a bit, pick up some blue, And then we're going more kind of ultramarine, and we can blend that into there to give us a purple. Yeah. We get rid of your white paper. We've got quite a bit of dark here, so it's quite interesting to just have that shape. We've got the blue in the water. It is a bit cerulean, but I've got the pastels. We've got pastels to go over that, so you can actually still see the texture. That's all we need to see. As long as you get your texture, don't lose that the brush marks on your gesso, because the pastel won't adhere to the picture. I've got some hairspray, because we're going to use that for fixing it halfway through, or sometime of the way through. And there you go. We can speed things up now with my handy hairdryer. Here it is, guys. What I will do, I think, because that building, this is where your abstract kind of shapes come into it, because that building has got, it's in shadow slightly, yeah. So we can put some bit of blue on, actually, in that direction. I think we're taking some of it off too. Yeah. Oh, it's texture anyway. No. You don't want to be taking it off too much. And that gives you shape. See how you're taking it? Doesn't take long. Very textured, beautiful. Because it's a bit wet now, I'm going to just pull the paper up a little bit, because it's got a big bubble in the middle. So I'm just going to pull it up a bit. Keep that stuck too. Just take the tape off. Taking the blue tape off. So you pull it away from your board. It's more or less alright everywhere. Just that little bit here. And once pulling, stretching a bit, and then you can stretch the sides so it goes flat again. I don't usually bother that much, but because we're using pastel, I'm going to keep it flat really. Okay. So that's quite nice. Got some textures in there as well. Where the building's at. Alright, so get rid of my paint. Put that somewhere else. I want to put some back in the pot later. Let's forget. And so I don't need my brush now. I've got my hairspray. Anything will do. I've got some nice dark tonal values using Unison, which you can mix with water. You could have done that with water actually. You can get water mixable pastels. I suppose you could do it with any pastel here. We want to keep your quality. So this Unison, quite dark as well. So we're looking from dark to light. I'm going to sketch out the subject just roughly. Probably with that one. I don't use black until right at the very end. You want to add some blacks. So the last thing you should do, if you're looking for the mid-tone values, it's mid-tone colours as well. So it's something a little bit darker than the white, halfway between white and black, something like that. This is where you can create a lot of texture as well. And then start building it up from there, working your way outwards. I mean, the last thing you should be putting on is the dark windows and the white, the pure highlights. But saying that, sometimes, you know, it's good to get some of the light in first. So it's entirely up to you but usually you're working from dark to light in that respect. You don't have to do all the picture dark to light, you can do bits dark to light and then move on to something else. All the time trying to strive for quite an abstract version. I find it really difficult with pastels to do abstract. It's trying to put it on and take it off and blend it, things like that. So anyway, we'll have a go with this one. Lovely colours in it, and it's quite a bright picture as well. My eyes attracted to that seagull all the time. Just to cover it. Excuse me. So I'm using inscribed pastels, which are again Winsor & Newton's. Winsor & Newton, yeah, the harder ones. The difference between soft pastel and hard pastels, I keep saying this in class and people always ask me, and I used to say, if you think that square pastels are the hard ones and soft pastels are the round ones, you're not far wrong, but don't quote me on that. But the difference between hard pastel and soft pastel is, you tell me, tap it in, it's because soft pastels have more pigment, less binder, that's why they're very, very soft and buttery. Especially kind of Sennelier, because I've got a few of those. Not got them out today, but the Sennelier, especially the white, which brings out the highlights. And the harder ones have less binder, less pigment and more binder, so they're not as buttery, they're quite coarse. And the very, very cheap ones have got no colour, hardly any colour, and they don't stick as well, so you just have to be, whereby, I mean, Winsor & Newton pastels are quite nice. It's actually got a lovely tooth to it, that. Still on my paper, when I'm going over orange with blues, can you see? It's going to be very, very nice. We can glaze quite a bit with pastels as well. I'll put my glasses on. So that is the difference, but you can pay a lot of money for pastels. Sennelier are quite dear. I've ordered some more actually, but they're not coming yet. I've also ordered some, I forgot a different make. Anyway, keep trying different ones as well, so you don't have to keep using the same sort of pastels, but I do like to get used to them, actually. Anyway, I'm just going to quickly kind of sketch out a few of the roofs and the shapes that are going to help me in the picture. So I want to kind of get the corner of this building out. Again, if you're using pastel like charcoal all the way down, it's that's kind of the corner of the building there. We'll get the white area. I'm just going to put this window in because it's interesting. If you put it in now and then paint around it, you've got a lovely shape. And there's one up here just disappearing. They'll just help, yeah. As we get down to it's a bit longer than that, isn't it? So you get into the halfway mark. Then under that you get a mark, and under this you get another window, which is kind of like that. As long as you can kind of get things on, that's where the lovely shadow is going to be. We've got some poles here, which I'm going to leave them for a bit. As you come down, then we've got this walkway. It's about here, like that, and it's going all the way across the picture to the other side. This is the thickness of the building where I put my texture, so it's going to end about here. Then I got that angle to this building. It comes in, then goes down, make it a bit thinner actually. And quite a bit going on here with these buildings in the background. You can just see a bit of the sky there. This bit, they've got kind of these very simple shapes, aren't they? There's top of that one, and that way, and then another blob here, and another blob there. I don't want to do too much detail. I just want to put a few shapes in to help me position things and get things right, yeah? Like where a dark shape is or where the water is. The water's quite interesting. You've got some of these poles which are just going to come out like that. This one's quite big actually, so I'm going to probably just block it in a little bit and then leave it. So a lot of that water I can use, a lot of the pigment on the water, the blue in the water I can use, and then this pole is actually here, isn't it, where the seagull is. Yes, we're going to draw the seagull, or the gull, if you like. That's the distance then. So the gull is quite big, yeah. It's got from its feet to its head. So it's just stood standing there on a block of wood, coming out of the water, and its straight legs, and then it's got this lovely kind of shape. And that, it's just about a shame that I could have moved it over, I suppose. And then we're getting the beak and its head, yeah? And then the way it just kind of disappears into the background. So that's the curve of the seagull, and it's quite warm underneath because it's getting reflections from the water. And it's got these dark shapes at either side and behind it and things like that. Yeah? Smudge them in, yeah? Just leave the shape of the seagull, smudge a few in. If you block it in, this is dark blue. This is a dark blue pastel that I've just dropped in. It's broke in half, right? So, coffee time with pastels, it's murder. And the shadow, I'm just going to draw this shadow on this wall because it's quite an interesting shadow. Okay, it starts about here. And we've got some windows here as well. Some of these might not actually have to move. You know, they're starting there. I'm just going to space them out a bit first, and then look at the bigger ones coming towards me, and put a shape in. You don't have to kind of do everything. Just do little shapes that actually bring out certain areas of your picture. Just as for that building is going away from me, this one, yeah? This is the edge of the middle one. And so everything here is kind of going in that direction, slightly down. And as you're coming down to the horizon line, about here you've got the doorway, and then you've got other windows here, yeah? And then you've got a row of windows there, and then the ones in the middle. Okay, because quite a gap then, you've got something like a balcony there, things like that. I just kind of put these things in to remind me where parts of the building are. If you look at these windows here, which are just lines, we've got this shape here, which comes to about halfway. So that, again, that's going in off the picture over there somewhere, because that's the horizon line. That's the people walk down here, your horizon line is going to be around this height where the door is. So that's going off to the horizon over there. Anything below it is probably going up to it then. So just dark shapes and dark windows and whatever. And this one here, I've got a bit of a building there, and so a couple of dark shapes just in that direction. I think it helps if you get some of the kind of perspective before you actually try to paint anything, because what's happening is we'll put that window in there, it's going this way. What's happening is you're putting the darks in and you paint around it. You get kind of a feeling for the subject, yeah. I'm glad I don't want to lose those textures here, because it looks like the side of a building that's rotting, and then we get some marks here. So as you're coming down, that's going that way, and then slightly less of an angle, because this is on this kind of perspective line, you see, so that's less, and as you're coming down to the door, straight across. So anything here is just going to be a kind of straight line. So here we've got these windows, a big block, balconies, and something here. Okay, just a little, just kind of help with the subject matter, that's all, the perspective and things like that. And the seagull, I'm going to leave the seagull a bit, and where is at the back of it. Okay, so that's my nice dark blue one. From that we can start adding lots of different colours. And the idea is, even if it's not on the picture, try and use it. So we're using oranges and blues, siennas, whites. There's not much green in this, there's a few trees, green trees. Oranges, quite nice, yeah, nice and strong. Pinks, I've not got many pink. And lots of different blues in your water. Don't forget we're using a hard pastel. I've ordered some of them as well, hard pastels, which we can see, we just draw with that as well. You can do all these marks. You can actually block in the seagull. This is a hard pastel, and then you just shape the head of the seagull, for instance. So you position it. So this is where I start coughing. It's not COVID. I'm not following Boris's example. It's just brought radio. Jeremy Van said he nearly died from it. I don't know if he nearly died from it, but anyway. Okay, so I got some lovely blues. So here, I'm going to start at the top. I've got some lovely blues and some cool colours in this building over here. I don't usually blend a lot of time, but then with this I might just start blending some of the whites into the textures of your building. So because these are in shadow, we're getting these cool areas. We've got green in there as well, which is quite interesting because you can use the green for part of the against the red, which is going to sing, going to make it sing. I'm just looking around shapes rather than actually trying to paint the exact area, if you like. This area is going to be nice and blue, so I'm just glazing. See that glaze? That means the blue is over the colour underneath, and it also comes down the wall here, which is this angle. It's a beautiful sunlight. It gets through the window, it actually goes into the window because it comes down, and then it goes in the window and it comes out again. Yeah, it's nice and dirty now. So we've got the shadow of that against the pole, and then the shadow at the other side, and we've got some shadow here, and we've got this lovely, if you look where the seagull is, we've got this warm kind of blue at the side of it, going into this area, and where the water. So where this pole is here, and there's another one there, if we put it in, I've got this really nice shape, blue of the water. So I'm just going to block some of that in. It's a nice shadow there actually, going across the picture. This is just a kind of a cerulean blue, gives that lovely warm colour. Yep, and this is a different blue, this is darker, see, so I can use that as well, just to put in the light, the dark bits in the water. I've got my nice phthalo green colour. Well, it's not blue, that's right. My eyes are going. Yeah, this is the one that's a kind of a cool green, which I quite like, because this building's in shadow. So as you go down there, you get this angle, and it's all in shadow just at the back of it. The light is going to bring everything out, and the detail, okay, detail later, nothing. Got a really lovely area of warm green here. You can see it just where, if you look at it, it's kind of near the seagull and where the water meets the other side of the bay. It also comes through here, so you've got this shape here. Might miss that poor light actually. I'm going to miss it out, that one. Change the picture altogether. Get rid of it. This one. So that's going across there, and then it's going into the blue of your water. So yeah, and that's the side. And change things. Change the world. We can change the world. And this is the blue of the water. So yes, we've got a nice darker blue now. We can come into here. I'm trying to leave a gap, but then we don't need now because we've got rid of it. So I've got my pole, which is going to be these lovely kind of white marks and red marks. That's what I'm using. Artistic license. Okay. Purples as well. Don't forget your purple. Love the purple colours. It's actually in part of the shadow on the building, just at the top. Shadows get reflections, alright, so they get they're kind of dark at the edges, and then they start getting reflected lights in the middle. So where you'd see a kind of lovely blue tone, say there, which I put in, and I'm gonna this one, so you glaze over it. I want to leave the texture of the building though, then underneath you get kind of lighter areas inside the shadows, just to give it this texture. I'm going to keep that building nice and light because that's where my pole was. I'm just looking at that, that's wrong. That's where my pole is. I hope you're not getting confused now. Just altered a few things. Taking this away, put the pole there, put the seagull in and the greenery in your background. Whatever you want to do, yeah? Because like I say, I took the same picture, I took the same photograph when we were there. There was a seagull sat there and it flew off because that's where they like to sit. So this is the green. I've got a bit over there. Something here, quite dark. You can add a bit of green into your water to give you a bit of turquoise. It's not that lovely and clear in the back streets of Venice or whatever, but it's a nice tone now that I can go lighter over there. Lighter by using, look at the greens in here. So if I kind of look at this colour that is just kind of a coolish greenish tone, and then I get and look at the gap between these areas and the buildings, and you can mix it with blue and just let the blue go over the green. You get turquoise there, you see, the top of this thing. So that's nice and kind of cool. Unless you've got a cool green, use it. You know, it's always about what pastels you've got. This is a coolish, that's a cool green. And that's above the window, so we'll keep that in. Alright, that's the top of the building, and we'll keep building, work around the subject. Look for little areas that you can just keep as they are. Alright, smudge them so they go backwards, they go into the background. You could smudge all of this and let it disappear slightly into the background, and even bring it down into the water if you want to. So it's kind of, your focus is going to be on, it was a seagull. Okay, I've got a bit of a cough today. It's not COVID, as well as Pastel does. So frequent drinks, okay? Thank you. And so if I start building on the lights, just as, for instance, start looking at something that's a little bit lighter. Yeah. So I've got this kind of warm pastel here. It's a sienna, but it's a lighter tone. And again, I don't want to kind of get rid of some of my underpainting. I want to keep as much as that as I can, actually. Yeah. You've got to come to a point where you clog up the picture, you know. So just be careful you don't press on too hard and too much. Let me just put these trees in. So I've got some trees here. I'm just going to scumble over the top of my kind of green, my dark green. I can scumble underneath for the shadows underneath the trees like that. Don't want to blend too much because I want to keep these lovely shapes. I've got a dark shape there. I've got a dark shape going down to the seagulls there. They're in the background as well, so keep that nice and soft. This thing coming here, it should be higher up, but never mind. This thing here is going that way. We've got things coming out, another one. And then we're going all the way down to the back of the seagull. We're getting these dark shapes just underneath this and underneath that. Now, you can do the legs later, only little things. As long as I know where it is, and then with some darks at the base of this, and then try and just emulate the shapes of the windows and blend them away. Not too much, not too much. Just where this window is here. Again, nice dark shape. We've got a shadow over there as well. We can use some blue later. Here, that should be going that direction actually. So I've got that a bit too low. Should be there. It's just a bit of the window. And then we got these kind of lines for windows at the top of the building. All the time looking at windows now and the way they look. Anything that's too far away, not much detail, just a shape like that. If you smudge it, you've got to paint around it there, just so it doesn't really matter. Smudge the shapes. So we get to here and we've got this kind of round bit at the top and then a block of tones. So it's round, block, round, block, round, round. Yeah, and the kind of, that's the trouble with anything man-made objects. These windows are a bit light, darker, and there's not as many now, so let's block that in. And that's the door, so we know that's quite a dark shape. Again, here, a curve and straight line, and on the other side we've got a curve and a straight line, and something there, and something there, and then we've got three kind of windows in the middle. 1, 2, 3, oh it's 4 actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just drag them down like that, going down to your balcony, which is here, okay, and then there's all sorts going on. You've got bolts coming out of the water, and shapes, windows, blocks of tone. Lovely. Right, lighter colours, more blues as well. For instance, this one, we can add more blue to that. It's quite nice being in the shadows, because you've got this lovely reflected lights. And the light in Venice is just amazing. You get out in the bay, I'm not talking about I hear people who talk about it, but you do get a light that just bounces everywhere. You don't see it in this country as much. Probably in Devon, or Cornwall I should say. St Ives. There's been a good programme about St Ives. I'm not going to that. So the roof there, we've got sienna. So I've got some sienna, I'm just going to block it in. It's a little bit darker, and then we can use some white to put in. We've got a bit of blue there as well, so I need to add some kind of sky blue underneath, because whatever you put over the top of this now is going to enhance it. It's going to bring out the blue and the reflection. It's going to mix things optically, yeah. And we've got that lovely green, excuse me, which is here as well, which is part of that tree. Then next to it we've got an orange, an orange just going here, just underneath, I don't know what that is, but it's just underneath that window, which is there, and then disappears. I've got a lovely red tone, alizarin, which is about there. It looks like there's a boat or a water taxi or gondola, and it's not gondola, it's a boat about there. You can just see how it might be jetty, but anyway, it's just coming out. And it's blue, so we've got blue again, so it's going blue and then nothing. So all of these little marks you're going to see now, and the detail things, and then just add in white, because the white is just going to make it. Okay, so I've got some hard pastel. I'm going to pick out just a few of these light shapes. So I'm blocking in with the side of my pastel. Alright. When you get shadows, I can actually leave the underpainting as a shadow, and then just paint the top of there's something there that's casting a shadow. It's got a white bit at the bottom. And the top of this roof is quite light, because it's catching the light and things like that. And then around the roof here, I'm going in, and then it's coming out again. And we can always add it, and I've put some sienna on there, so we can always add the light. Bring out the warmth of a colour by adding other colours to it later, so we can cool down white. So this is just hard white pastel. Okay, I am running out, that's why I've ordered some more. So we can see the shapes that it's creating around this window. So if I just use the pastel to create the shapes there, can you see? And this will bring out the corner of my building as well. Again, straight line, you know, straight line all the way down. As you get to this window, I've got a line inside and a line there, and then we've got a shape here. It's all these different little things. It's a bit high up, but it might. And then we've got a line there, and then this is the other side of the shadow on the wall. It's when we start putting the lights in, like that, does it make any sense whatsoever? And we can add blue to that. So for instance, if we've got a nice, lovely blue actually, if you've got a nice shadow coming from a window, or here say, a window ledge, and they're all going in that direction, you just add a bit of blue to it to give it a reflecting light, okay? Reflective light. So here I can just take that white across. We can also paint the shape around like ornate parts of windows using the white. That's why I didn't bother about trying to draw too much, because I know I can do it later. And it'll take a while this actually. Very nice. I'm going to add some warm to my seagull. It goes quite green actually, but I put a bit of orange there. Let's get some reflections. Can you see the reflections in the seagull from the water? Beautiful. And we also, while I'm here, might as well put some warm in that log that's coming out. Leave a bit of blue if you like. Yeah. So that bring it forward. The warmth of it's going to bring it forward. This is a kind of a cool grey, so again, try and get some pastels together so you're not actually looking for things. So that's a kind of cool colour. And we've got nice lovely water there. And on the edge of this log, the top of the log and the edge is the light, and then inside you're getting little areas that are light like that. Yeah. And then just leave it a bit, don't do too much. We're going to add other things to that. Like where the pole is, the pole would probably make a reflection in the water as well. And then looking down. So where these windows are, I'm going to just do a bit more detail, because here we've got a box kind of shape at the bottom. So this one, the three together, there, probably not be able to see me. I'm just doing the tops of them first, and then again in a box at the bottom. I'm going to do all the box at once. You find easy ways of just doing something and then locking it in first and then making it come out. So that wall, I want some lovely purples, reflective lights, this kind of shape. Where I've got the pole, I'm just going to add a few of these red stripes, okay? Just so I know it is. You don't have to keep putting them in, just leave them. I'm also going to use a bit of white. I've got some soft white there, a little piece, because I want some really strong green, which is this one. Again, as you're coming forward, we're going over there. As you're coming forward, we're going into the water there. Get that over here as well. Let it blend into that blue, beautiful light. It's a little bit darker here with our dark blue, if you like. I'm just coming forward, and then strengthen that dark here. This is a pole that I'm going to leave in, which is this one, but I don't want to go in over the top really. I mean, this one's linking the foreground and the background, so I don't need others doing the same. Yeah, that's why I'm not that bothered. So, but yeah, if you want to, you can do it. I'm not telling you. I'm just doing it my way, as the song goes. I use a bit more dark white pastel for anything that's catching light over this side. So that block that in. And down the wall here. When I spray that, it's going to go a lot lighter. So then I'll be using soft pastel. And what's the difference between hard and soft? You know now, don't you? You've got marks here that are kind of reflections coming from things. You've got a doorway at the back, and I've got this pole that's catching a bit of the light where the white is. Would have to be it all. Yeah, but over this side, a lot of the sky is white. There's a little strip just there, so I'm going to block that in. Get rid of my colour, and then paint around the rooftop, which is here. That goes up there, and that goes in the sky. It's better what you see. I've got like little marks underneath the roof here, and then we've got little light tones between the window. Okay, so I can do the same things I've done there, just to bring out that light. Got the chimney here, which comes down. Okay, and then I've got a shadow, so I can go round that roof. Shadows, again, use a bit of darker blue, something like, I've got a nice shadow here, and just under the roof. I just keep these lovely complementary colours if you can, blues and oranges, alright. You make a much nicer picture using complementaries. Keep it simple. Doesn't look simple enough. And then I've got shapes kind of on the floor, which I don't know what is happening there, actually. It's like there's a bit of something coming out, like a parasol there with something standing up. A bit more light there. When you get to the point where you're just adding lights and darks, it's like a big jigsaw puzzle. It should start to make sense. Not always, but should do. Just trying to work out where I've got some kind of zigzags here. So I'm going to leave the paper underneath and paint a bit around it. Again, you don't have to do it all. But if it's in the picture and it's an interesting shape, just put them in. It's a bit of detail. Okay, you could actually make up, have some reflected light from the background. Stand by. Good drink. So these are mainly, well, they are really hard pastels. All the time I'm building up the tone of eyes. So I'm going a little bit lighter. So that's the idea. You start to see, look at this, you start to see these greens. And I've also got the warmth in there as well, so, and that's quite light. So that green area, I could put white over that later. And the green's going to pick up some of these colours underneath, you know, and mix them. You can just see the side of that balcony there. It's going away from you. And shapes. Yeah. So because I'm going a little bit like, these are reflected lights in the building, but they're not highlights. They're just reflections. So I'm just using this green. I know it's not the right colour, but I do like it. And it's adding quite a bit of interest where the red and the green mix, and then we've got things going on here. Shape here. Bluey green. Yeah. And we get the same thing over here. We've got big blocks, actually. So the 3 windows, and then we get this big block of tone. Yeah. And then that goes there. Can add some more. Use a bit of blue after as well. Pick out just some of the shapes. You don't need to go all the way down to the floor. You can just leave a shape. So usually as you get to the bottom of buildings, you get more kind of reflected lights, and the tops are usually slightly darker against your sky. Okay. So we just leave it, and we can use the light and just leave it being a reflection. Okay. I keep saying okay, but you can't answer me. So I hope somebody's there. For all the time, you should be following that angle for your building. It's like chopping a bit off it. So yeah, we'll block in everything else. We've got something here, top of the chimney. We've got things here. Again, press on, tactile stuff. The more you press on, the lighter or the darker something goes. So we've got here, between the windows, press on, keep the shadows, down to the roof, side of that building. Nice highlights, nice lights catching it. There's a lovely blue shadow. It's a darker blue actually. Look out for these because they're very interesting shadows, because they just take you, they give you this directional sunlight, kind of thing, on the rooftops, and then we can go warmer, lighter. Put some sienna, put some orange on, and then warm it up a bit, especially here and there. And then here, might pick up some blue, doesn't really matter. Down the side of the window. That goes into this orange bit, which I don't know where it is. And I can't get over the window on, so it doesn't matter. The picture is actually slightly not square. My piece of paper is square, so that's the reason. Not get it spot on. But we don't want to be perfect, do we? No. You said yeah? You don't want to be perfect. It's boring being perfect. You want to create something aesthetically pleasing. So you blend it like that, let it disappear. Again, it's lovely light from the side of that building. You're also seeing these blue reflection. Not bothering them too much yet. Angle, and the shape of things. Start seeing things here. These little marks. Not what that is. Okay, you get to the floor. And then leave it. Go have a bit more green over this side, a bit more turquoisey actually, over my blue, you see. So I'm mixing colours on the paper. As I'm going forward here, I want to go darker blue, just to bring it forward, and there. And then I can go lighter again. Try and change your blues, not just have one colour. I always have some different ones. There is one I really like. Sorry. I just got that. No, it's not. Pick it out. Too dark. What's he got now? Sky blue pink with a finicky border. Disappeared. What's here? Is this it? That's it. So that's really nice blue. I'm following this direction mainly because water's level. Yeah, water always stays level. So you can leave the marks in between and keep it nice and level. And then we can do, see, this mixes very nice with the green, turquoise colours. But I'm going to blend that quite a bit in a bit. We'll have a bit of that there, a bit here, on the side of the post. You hit the post, and then it's actually, that's the water now. I've made that bit up because we haven't got any water there. Blue bit and then white bit. Other reflections, I'm going to spray it, which is always a bit scary because it goes a lot darker. So we've got a piece of white again. If you look here, we've got all sorts of because there's kind of a railing, and you can just see the bars of the railing, and then you get the light hitting that. It brings out the side of a seagull, and then it disappears. And over here we're getting more of the seagull. We're ticking off in a bit. Yellowy beak. It's got a yellowy, kind of a yellowy beak. Go a bit. And his eye. Eyes, they look at you, don't they? They just look at you like that. He's actually looking in the water. So bit of reflection underneath. Looking at the building at the back. Reflected lights. Cool colours again around it. Within this. Just keep building them up. And you can go to the floor. When you get to the floor, things start to get lighter. You get all sorts of kind of little marks, changes in tone. I'm just going to put this, like these boxes at the bottom of these windows. It's just patterns. Make them line up. I think it was a little bit darker underneath, so that's where your green is for your trees, because the trees are actually catching sunlight, so I'm just coming through that gap. See what difference it makes? Big difference. Lovely light coming through now. That's the shape of that, and it got that. You can use this green as well, this yellow. Bit of white, you know, I'm going to fix it, said that once. The scary bit. I'm just going to lighten that up, leave that a bit because I don't know where it is. Then I've got a shape here. Some of these little shapes behind the seagull. Quite interesting, yeah. You don't have to be anything. You know, you don't have to actually know what it is, do you? So, yeah, what is that there? Was it Matisse? Something? Cezanne? So if you see a square blob, draw, paint a square blob. Don't try and say it's a dustbin or whatever. Yeah. Right, some more kind of reflected lights. I'm going in with this purple. I just want to get in some of these little marks in between the windows, because they are quite light, you see, and they make a big difference to things like the balcony and anything that's in the background. So this is a cool, it's kind of a purplish tone, and then here again, they do curve at the top, so it doesn't matter how much. It's a building. Reflections. Great big dark area there as well. Anyway, I'm going to spray it, knock it back, then start bringing it out. Don't go mad with the spray, just keep it nice and simple. It will go a little bit darker. That's the idea. So when we put light over that, we can use the same pastels now, and it will actually start to bring it out more, because they'll look lighter against the background. If you want to speed it up, get your just the old hairdryer ones. On the scene, there we go. And now we're just going for gold. I'll just show you what a pure white pastel does. So this is soft pastel. Right. This is a soft Scenario. God, it's giving me a cough now. We don't really have to go everywhere. I just want to bring out especially the side of that building, because it's very, very strong colour. But you want to see the underpainting, because your underpainting is that warm sienna, so it's pointless covering it up. You want to see it, okay. Things like that. And just the light catching things. So if I go all the way down that wall, again, we can do our seagull a bit on that, because he's quite important. He's near to me, so I can put him in, especially his head. You see, and blend that in a bit, and the side of his mouth, and underneath he goes slightly darker. So we've got this lovely shape here. Just a little bit of blending. And then the light on his shoulder, or where the wing is. And it goes that way, and then that way, and then that way. Okay, thin legs. I would use a thin white. Different tone actually. So I need to go and just build up this texture on the more sienna colours and yellows, whatever, reflections. Okay, so I'm looking into the background again here. I want a nice light blue. Imagine now wearing glasses. So here, because I've sprayed it, this blue is going to stand out a bit more now, so I can, in fact I want some whiter than that here. Picking out some of the blue shapes in the building, okay. And then a kind of a line there, and then the bit under this balcony, and then we've got these shapes. That's all about the shape, these shapes. And you get a line there, and then you get the bits in between. It's like the window frames. I can go over that with white later. Inside that window, because it's getting a reflection. Inside that blue. It's actually got this lovely ornate shape on there, so I'm just squiggle that in. Nothing too fussy, and then it's got two kind of pillars at each side, where it's darker again. And this is so all the time leaving those under colours, which is what we want. Yeah. And then getting down to here, and like I said, there's some kind of directional reflections. There's a little bit there that's very warm. Don't know what it is, but it's a colour here that's, I think it might be top of the pole, but it works. This is the orange bit again, which keeps disappearing. The white, let me dark, sorry. I'm going to just paint the shape of this background here. I should have done it before, but couldn't be bothered. It's just a big blob, and then straight line. Parasol coming out from the back of that building, and then some posts. Okay, and they go quite dark. Yeah. quite dark in the water. Reflection. Door, I can use black later. Door there, something here, post, shape, mark, dark, curve. The front of a gondola, it looks very similar. And then inside this window, so I'm bringing out the dark bits, see? And highlights. Looking around the picture now, picking up things that have either disappeared. Shapes, reflections. Reflections on these between the windows. Add some colour. Keep going. Down, 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 down. Not too obvious. Okay, because they're in the distance, aren't they? Not too obvious. Keep some of these pores leaning. Move them about. Give that seagull a bigger eye. Yes. Pinch my pastel from St. Times. Are we still online? Yeah. Sea. I'm going to get onto this sea now because it's gone a bit. I've lost the light, so I'm going to use my white over the top of that beautiful green actually. Yeah, so this lovely green. It's turquoise. And behind that pole. If you get to here, you can see where you got these lovely white shapes going all the way across. South Pole. And in the water. Beautiful undulating water. So it's undulating. Lighter blues. Bringing out this undulating. It comes into here. It's not getting textures now because we get ripples. Like that. Bring it forward. Have some white. Just put a bit of white here on the seagull. Bring it out a bit. Move it. And here. And here. And around the pole. And we're going to have ripples. Put them in and then just blend them. It's a light on the water. Bring that forward. Don't cover everything up. So you got this. And this kind of shape of the light catching the water in place. Alright, I've got this white. I'm going to bring it the window more soft white again. Top of the building. Top of the building. Poor Des. Don't know why I said that, but just remembered Des. Des is dead. Des O'Connor. Shit. We've had more than 3 now, haven't we? You say you get 3 in a row, we'll get like 10 in the last few weeks. So because I blended that now, you can see, just bring out little bits of it. In the background. Sunlight. And that parasol now needs to come out from whatever's on top of it. I've not put any people in, because there is none, but you could do if you want to do. Just keep that light. When I do skies, I usually block them in because you want the colour underneath to stop. Right. You don't want it to shine through. Here, blue, and there's a lovely blue. I've only just noticed from this boat, or whatever it is. So yes, this is where you start to see other things happening. And this is where you can start adding other tones, other colours, just to bring out the lights and darks. So don't try and spend too much time putting windows in and flower pots in the window and whatever, you know. Just put a shape. Just get the perspective right, because that's what you want. Everything going away, everything going in a different direction. Top of the seagull's head, quite dark as it curves away, and a bit more white. I'll tell you what, this longer than an hour, I find it really difficult. It's only like another 15, 20 minutes or something, but I can tell. Seagull. It's very red pastel for its beak. Block things in at the edge here. Not supposed to have anything in the corner, so they say. It doesn't matter. Some textures. Let's make that come forward. Everything blue. There's shadows. Shadow of your seagull that time. Going down. This is the beauty of pastel. It'd be nice to be there just painting this. Perhaps next year. Perhaps next year. Actually, I went to Garda, so I'm thinking it was Tuscany, but it wasn't. Garda. Putting this shape in. Anything nearer to you now is going to have more kind of detail, so we can have more detail in these windows, all the shapes around the tops or underneath balconies, just to make them stand out a little bit, but nothing too fussy. They got caps on them, haven't they? I haven't noticed. Caps. Yes. There's a dark shade there, it's a doorway actually, in the background. It's got a lovely light over the top of it. use what you need. Okay? Shadows are very important. Beautiful shadow that. Use it. Or lose it. So blue, blue, blue. Love it, love it. Blue here. Not a blue ear, a blue ear. This is a bit of white here. Top. Finish it off here. Side of this building. When your brain says stop, stop. If it doesn't say anything, stop anyway. It's a bit of warmth in that yellow over the green. Most of the marks have gone that way. Yeah. Beautiful kind of undulating. With the boats have just gone past. The water taxi's just gone past. Then we can add detail to anything in the foreground. Keep a clean finger if you can. Blend them together, soften them. Dark. We'll have some reflections on the side of the pool because going in the water. This one, again, we want reflections on the middle section. Use a little bit warmer as well because it's getting warm. Going a little bit darker, the edges. And we can add some blue as well because it's getting reflections from underneath. And I know this is too light yet, too dark, but we could just carry on with that. And we're going to run out of time, but you can see what I mean about adding other colours, cool colours over the top what you've got now, and that will bring out this really nice reflected cools in your buildings because they're not just blue. Just get your angles right. You probably missed somebody's flat out and they put us I live there, no, you've not got me flat in. So there's a quick sketch. Sorry. Just down here now, we've got little things. The lights just catching. Boardwalk, if you like. Seagull. What's ready with the seagull? It's angry. It's angry seagull. And the light here. So that is the edge. Where the strong light is, that's it. That's the edge of your building. Make sure they line up. You don't want it to curl or bend. Straight lines for buildings. I noticed some people had your little cottage leaning. Keep your buildings up and down. And straight lines, man-made objects. Vertical. They don't lean. If they lean, they'd fall over. So I wouldn't like going to a building that was leaning. This is the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And you can spray it at the end if you like, just to hold it, but don't give it a lot. I'll take the paper off. Take the paper off, and then I'm just going to leave it for a minute and then come back to it. All this dust here, collect it, throw it in the bin. Don't blow it about. Just take that off. Take the tape off, because it does make a difference. And then either finish it off or leave it. It's entirely up to yourself. Don't forget, don't try and overwork. Okay, clip. Always pull it away. I forgot to mention you use a damp cloth just to dry it, wipe your hands on and wipe the dust off your easel. Don't do it on your best dining room table, because it is a bit of a messy job, pastel. We can get some wonderful effects, and the more colours you have in your pastels, the more you can, that's why I've run out of a few, my best one. The more colours you have, the more reflections you have. I'm talking about reflections now. I can see that these need to be, so if I go over this with a white, you see, it's just these little bits of information, actually, which is missing, where the light's catching little objects, parts of the building. That's all it needs now. So I'll probably just do that and then leave it. Just notice looking through the camera lens. When you look through a camera lens, it's really good because it kind of reduces everything, but it shows you any faults. And it's the old advertising method, reduced an image, that makes it look a lot, it shows up all the detail. If you can capture the detail as quickly as possible. Okay. There you go. I'm going to have a proper drink now. Thanks for watching. My seagull's not too coarse, so that's a good thing. Have a go. Good fun. Like I say, I wish I'd have been there doing it from live, but things will get better. It's a good job I come to my camera to see. Somebody's asking me a question. Barbara. Hairspray. Hairspray. Don't you know it's hairspray now? Hairspray or fixative. You want a specific brand? I actually got this from Range. It's like 50p. Well, that's his boots, sorry. Fixed, extra firm hold. About a pound a tin. Okay guys, thanks for watching. See you on Wednesday. It's portrait and watercolour, sorry. See you then. Bye.